Hello guys, welcome back to Saints and Sacrifices here on YouTube, where we try to bring the lives of the saints and martyrs of Christendom back into sort of like public space and see how they can affect our lives in today's world. So the last one I did, Saint Isaac of Syria, I got a comment back from WTM channel. So go over and subscribe to them, please, guys. My first ever comment. So yeah, go and subscribe to them. And they asked me to do Saint Winifred, which is quite local to me, really. Well, not quite local, but I know that we have icons in my church that I go to, which is Russian Orthodox Church. There is an icon of her there, and also me and my wife get our holy water from this saint's place. So anyway, I'll just jump straight into it, guys. So Saint Winifred, a bit of a looker by all accounts, but she had this. Her family were quite well to do, so she was quite comfortable. And you're looking at sort of like what was she saying? 7th century. So she was quite comfortable in the 7th century. But from a very young age, she knew that she wanted to be like a nun. So she was going to church and the usual. In fact, her uncle was the priest, also now a saint, Saint Buono. He was the priest in the church. Anyway, so she was known for her religious lifestyle and her integrity, which we will come on to later on, which is part of why I'm glad that WTM channel brought up Saint Winifred. So anyway, she got this warlord over there in Wales who wanted to marry her. And she was just honest with him and said, like, look, it's not going to happen, mate. I'm going to become a nun. This guy was livid, absolutely furious. So what do you do in that sort of circumstance, guys? Most of us would just go off and sink our sorrows with a few pints. And that, not this guy, decided to chop her head off. So took his sword out, chopped her head off, and where the body fell, a spring sprung up. A spring sprung up, is that right? Yeah, a spring sprung up, and the water from the spring flowed into her body. Buono, the priest, who was doing mass in the church, because she was just murdered just outside the church, he sewed her head back on. But the water from the spring had entered her body, and she became unkilled. She became alive again, resurrected, so to speak. And the guy, there's many stories. One is that the ground opened up and swallowed him. Two, he died in a boggy marsh some years later in a battle somewhere. Anyway, we don't really care about him, do we? This is about Saint Winifred. Anyway, Saint Winifred went on and joined the nunnery. She lived there for many years, and she was known for her integrity, and she was also invoked. So she's the patron saint of this place which is now called Holywell or Holywell, and she was so she's the patron saint of that, And she's also invoked for protection against unwanted advances and this healing power of this water from the spring. So they built this shrine to her. Now, some people say the shrine, depending on who you believe in, was the first shrine of Britain. It's not true. Alban, Saint Alban, I believe, was like 300 years earlier. Just thought I'd chuck that in. I might be wrong. As you can tell, I'm no expert at this. I'm not purporting to be an expert. I'm just sort of trying to bring the lives and the names back into modern day. Anyway, so down the road in England, them horrible English people at Shrewsbury Cathedral needed to have some relics, because that was big business in the day. You had to have relics to get pilgrimages there. And they'd heard that a lot of people were going to Holywell for a pilgrimage to Saint Winifred. So what they do, they thought, oh, you know what? Guys, you lot walk up to the Holywell in Wales, nick some of the bones and bring them back here, and we can have a shrine. So they do that, take some of the bones of her body, bring her back, and sort of like halfway there, you come to a place called Shropshire, and I have to stay overnight because they can't do the whole journey by foot in a day. So they camp overnight, and where they lay her bones, another spring springs up, and they thought, oh wow, this is what's name. So that is also a shrine. I can't remember exactly where it was in Shropshire, but I'm sure, if you're interested, guys, just look up Saint Winifred history or whatever, and you'll find it. So, and then the next day they woke up, found this spring, and so built a small shrine to it, and then they moved the bones to Shrewsbury Cathedral, who made a fortune out of it because they already had a cathedral, and it was one up to the English, I suppose. So anyway, yeah. So what was she known for, and why is this sort of thing, sort of like needed in today's world? Well, the first thing is, like, if you watch any of the news channels, I don't particularly. I don't watch mainstream media. I watch sort of independent media on YouTube and things like that. And you can see what's happening in our country. Like women, children, like walking down the street, getting all this unwanted attention from this other tribe. Let's put it that way. And nothing seems to be done. It's not arrestable, and so this is why Saint Winifred's name, is very important in today's world that we live in, especially like in Europe. I mean, it's a big thing in Europe where women and girls are just getting, advances and struck and things like that, and of course like other things, but we won't go into there. So we need to pray to Saint Winifred to like help protect these women and children from these advances. Also, she's well known for her integrity, and and this is one of the most important things about this video, really. It's like integrity. This is what we're missing. I'm not too sure about other European politics, but British politics, UK politics, so integrity. So what is it? What's it mean? The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, which Saint Winifred had in abundance. We just don't see that now. like I would say like 97% of the British Parliament has got no integrity whatsoever. The Church of England, no integrity whatsoever. They've thrown it out the door. What else? Like pop stars, like footballers. Some of them have got it, but like it's got to be very, very high that they haven't got it also. And also, like I've noticed in the news in the last couple of days, here in the UK we have a state-run news channel or TV channel, and it's supposed to be best in the world, called the BBC. And if you go onto YouTube and just see what they've been up to, they haven't even got integrity. There is no integrity left here in the UK Isles. It's just, we need to bring it back, guys. We just need to be honest and have like moral principles where we do boundaries. And I'm not talking about boundaries as in like, our sovereign boundaries, which would help quite a bit, but our moral boundaries, like if you see something if you see something that's happening, like, guys, step up. This is what this country's missing, and if we don't do it as like the people of the UK or the people of Europe or the people of the Western world, if we don't do it, don't ever leave it to a British politician to have integrity, because they will never have it. They haven't had it for decades here in the UK. So it's up to like us to have this integrity. Just try and be as honest as you can. But there lies another problem, because if you are honest, again, this is UK based, I'm not too sure what it's like in the States or Western Europe or Eastern Europe, but here in the UK, you can't be too honest. If you're too honest, you will go to prison. If you say something that's way too honest, or if you tweet something, or you put something on Facebook, or you put something on YouTube that's too honest, you will be imprisoned, because they have no integrity. Nothing in society has integrity anymore. The shops have no integrity. They just chuck the prices up when they want. The news channels have absolutely no integrity. They just make stuff up and fool the general population. The government has no integrity. The monarchy no longer has integrity. Why women and children are having like trying to say gently, sort of like unwanted advances when they walk to school, or they walk to, or the mums walk to work or walk to do the shops. They're getting this unwanted advances, and like the whole of like society, the news, the government, the monarchy do nothing about it. In fact, the monarchy would rather go and have a cup of tea with the local imam and say nothing. So this is why Saint Winifred is so important. It's like, I know it's a strange name, guys. Winifred, it's a bit old, and it's like a few decades ago where that name sort of started dying out. But we need to bring back Saint Winifred. Like, give a prayer to Saint Winifred for protection for your mother, wife, sister, daughter, or anybody, just to get them protection as they go around their daily business without getting harassed by this other tribe. And also the integrity part is us have to have integrity. We have to be like honest, and we have to have like not just moral principles, but strong moral principles, because we live in a very unchristian country at the moment. And if we don't have strong moral principles, like I say, no one else will, guys. It's down to us to have that. And start, I don't know where to go with that. I don't, like, voting or what. I'm going to try and keep out of that. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you to WTM channel. I really appreciate that, guys. If any of you other people that are watching these videos would like me to mention the saint, and I'll try and do what I did with Winifred or Saint Isaac the Syrian, just like flip it into like a modern day scenario, and how we can learn from these like martyrs and saints to try and bring Christendom back where we have strong moral principles, and try and bring God back into the UK. Yeah, just leave a comment, guys. If you could subscribe, love you. If not, don't. But like, just, yeah. Like I've already said too many times already, guys. So thank you guys for popping in. Always post on Tuesdays and Fridays. Guys, keep the faith, grow the faith. Cheers, guys.